gone through this process with USDA and the jail commission, I think that can be done concurrently. Then we would have to reconcile any questions or any differences that they had and go back for both of their approvals. Both of those facilities, Judge Bird and Judge Ponce, if you would like to visit those facilities, both have agreed that we could arrange for you to see those facilities. I'm not as familiar with the sheriff now there in Dennett. It was Sheriff Sample was the sheriff when we did the facility, and I do know in visiting with him that they made money with their jail and still have contracts outside for part of those 96 beds. But the sheriff and the new jail administrator have not pushed that as did Sheriff Sample and Deborah, which I can't remember her last name. We've done a number of correctional facilities. Primarily, we added 125 beds to the Maverick County under Judge Escobedo. And Sheriff Herrera, we've just completed bringing them up to code as far as jail commission was concerned. They had some questions on that facility, and understand we're doing another inspection in March. The smaller jail creates a unique situation because of the staffing requirements that the jail commission has of the 1 to 48. But the smaller you are, you've got to do your own breakdown, if you would, to as to male and female and how we divide those and how many beds you're going to want, single cells, separation cells, multiple occupancy cells, 48-bed facility. It offers some unique challenges for the sheriff and the jail administrator and for the commission too. They have to fund it. The largest one we've done correctional facilities in Jack County. We did one of the state jails when the legislature had that all of the projects in the state. We did the one in Jacksboro. It's a 1,018-bed facility, and we've done numerous there in Gonzales, an ISF facility, 70 beds. The cover of our brochure that we put together is the Judge Solomon Cassis Youth Village in Webb County. For that, we won Lower Rio Grande Valley Design Excellent Award. And to that point, we're completing now, or should be complete by the 1st of March, on the alternative education, which will be for 112 students. Our current workload is very low. We have this project that we're finishing on the juvenile facility, and we have an office addition or an annex building for the Dennett County Judge Ponce. Otherwise, we would immediately go to work with you and hopefully come with a design that you're satisfied with and meet your needs. To that point, we would want access to the sheriff, to his staff, and to you as far as the programming and planning of that facility. I want to speak just a couple of moments on the site. We were given some information on the site there at Bond and Wall site's divided with Wall Street. The top triangle is cut off. And from the sheriff's standpoint, or access to that facility, if there's some way we can extend Wall all the way through, give him two ways in and out. So if for whatever reason one of them was blocked, they're not locked down in the facility. Also, there are a number of buildings on the track, and most of those will have to come down to utilize the track for what we see. I understand in Wall Street there's an 8-inch and a 6-inch water line and an 8-inch sewer line, and that is there. On the property, there's, I guess it's CP has an easement that goes down through the property, and there's also a sanitary sewer manhole on that property. And then there's a little flag out there that speaks to AT&T. And we have not at this point looked into easements and things where they may run and how they may impact that site. Overall, though, it's a beautiful site. I think it will be a very nice site for a county jail. Do you have any questions of us? Again, be happy to arrange if any of you are interested in going to one of the facilities and looking at it, either Dennis or Gonzalez. We can certainly do that.
I've been to one Sheriff Shockley, Gonzalez. I've been in that other a lot.
Have you been?
I know your work.
All right.
I know your design and stuff, so I've been in that jail several times.
All right, so well, again, thank you very much for your time, and we certainly appreciate the opportunity to work with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's just take a quick recess just to stretch. If you need to go to the bathroom. Ladies, there's an extra one in my office back here. There's one over here. This approved removing Commissioner Carl Hummel as owner representative for Phase 1, removal of the 1924 additions and restoration of the west side of Karnes County Courthouse per M.J. Boyle contract. And the author, Mr. Buckle, please.
Well, you've already heard some people speak to this, and I think that you remember when Carl was appointed, I objected because I think, did think and still think that he has a conflict of interest. I think that was proven when he was very strongly for adding the $27,000 to the contract. And I think the proper thing to do is to remove him from this and put someone here that will have more, instead of being a Benedict Arnold traitor to the county, will take care of the county. Thank you.
Bob, is that the only reason there's no point of law or no wrongdoing on my part of any sort?
Still working on that card.
Well, anybody else like to speak first?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Pete, would you like to say something?
Well, I think your exhibit of your action last Saturday was unbecoming a commissioner, certainly unprofessional. You were unreasonable. You wouldn't listen to me. You came up to me hollering at me and telling me I
Pete, would you like to back up for a minute, if you will, and just explain to the court what took place and what you're talking about? Give them a little background, if you would.
Okay. On Friday, Matt and I went to the site. We talked to Mr. Gene Taylor and asked him if we could look at the building to see how it was tied in. I want to see how it's dialed in. He said it's not dialed in. No, it's not? No, it's not. So I said, can we look at it and take pictures of it? Yep, take pictures of it. So he took us in there and we looked at it, and it's completely independent. They busted the concrete away, and the steel was standing there, and there was no dials, no nothing going into the brick of the old courthouse. So on Saturday, Matt and I talked about it later in the day, and Matt said, I think we'll go back there and see how those columns are leaning. See if they're leaning one way or another, see if they're putting any pressure one way or another. So I said, okay, we'll go back Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, he called me and says, well, he said, I'm here at the site. And I said, well, I'm putting out a couple square bales of hay. As soon as I finish, I'll be there in 12, 15 minutes. So I was there, and when I got there, I saw him had his instrument set up on the slab, and you were walking around there, and you came up to me and you started hollering at me.
Okay, did y'all have permission either from the contractor or Mr. Busselman or Judge Shaw to be there? Or who did you get permission from?
No, I didn't get any other permission. I took it upon myself to say, let's check it.
So you assume that you had permission on Friday and you were guided by the project superintendent for Boyle, project manager for NJ Boyle. On Friday, you naturally assumed that it would be all right with Mr. Boyle to come back on Saturday without permission and without an escort. Is that what your thinking was?
Well, I suppose that'd be a summary of it.
Okay, now, if you were to invite me to your house for dinner or something on a Friday evening and you took me all through your house,
That's
does
not
that
gonna
mean I
happen,
can
Carl.
come back on Saturday when
That's
you're
not
not
gonna happen,
there?
Carl, so don't.
Yeah, well,
Stop a
that's a
second.
big assumption, but anyway, go on, Mr. Young.
Okay, so Carl walked up to me hollering, telling me I wasn't an engineer, I wasn't an architect, never was gonna be. I said, hold it, Carl, just stop. Let me tell you why we're here. So I tried to tell him we wanted to check the columns. And I said somewhere between 6 and 10 words, and he's hollering at me again. So I stopped him, I just stopped him. So he stopped hollering, I started talking again, and he did the same thing, started hollering at me. I motioned to him. Matt, come on, let's get out of here.
Okay, was the sheriff's department called about this incident?
I didn't call the sheriff's department, I think you did. Did you
Yes,
call the sheriff's
yes, I
department?
did. And so you did leave the site at the direction of the sheriff's deputy and the city
No,
cop, is that correct?
No, the sheriff did not direct me to leave the site. I told Matt to come out, came out, stood there, and I asked Officer Kunchik, I said, would you like to ask us any questions? He says, no, I don't need to. And Matt and I went and sat in my truck. We sat there until Sue drove up. I got out and talked to Sue Carter, and then I got in my truck and left.
Is there a chain link fence around this site with signs posted that say things like authorized personnel only, danger, construction zone, no trespassing allowed? Are there signs of that nature, Mr. Yar, on that fence?
I think they're all.
Okay, and this is a demolition project, is it not, Mr. Yar? And the courthouse being approximately 3 stories with an attic and a roof, so maybe 4 stories. Are there falling pieces of concrete and brick on that site, Mr. Yar?
Sure they're all.
Okay, now was it already under demolition from top to bottom? So if you were to look up, you could see little pieces of concrete hung on the rebar and stuff like that. Would you say that it is a hazard to be on that site and also and a liability, as Judge Shaw and County Attorney Busselman had directed this court not to let anyone on that site except for the contractor and his employees? Do you remember any discussion about that, Commissioner Yar?
Yes, I remember.
Okay, so why did you think that it would be okay to take Mr. Dockery over there, knowing it's a liability, knowing it's dangerous, insurance is not gonna cover him, clearly. Why did you think that was okay?
I didn't think about that.
You didn't think it was a dangerous situation. It's not like walking into this building or the annex. There are things falling over there. You put him in harm's way, you put the county at risk. And you're a contractor as well as he is, and I don't think I could come onto your job and open up a fence and go in there with all these signs posted and think it's okay.
Mr. Dockery had a hard hat on that morning, and you were inside there and you didn't.
Oh, well, you know, when I drove up there, Mr. Yower, I didn't think that I was gonna find Mr. Dockery up there. And the reason I called the law is because I asked him if he had permission, and he said no. And then he said, well, Pete Yower said I could. So I was asking the judge in a conversation, well, if the rules have changed and now we can let any citizen of the county inside that fence with or without a hard hat and with or without permission, then if that's what this court wants to do, to put the county at risk for lawsuits, then so be it. But the rules were nobody was supposed to be in there. So I was doing my job, was I not, Mr. Yower?
I talked to Mr. Boyle.
Yes, there was brick masons there, and there are stuff, if y'all go there, I mean, it's a demolition site. There are things falling. It's very dangerous.
Is Carl in charge of keeping people off of it? Is that his job?
Hold on, Scott. But Mr. Boyle called me a couple of times. You called me, then Mr. Boyle called me. Mr. Boyle's concern was not so much the same as yours when he called me.
Oh, did Mr. Boyle give him permission, Judge Shaw?
They said they did on Friday.
Okay, but they did not on Saturday, is that correct, Judge Shaw?
I don't know, I wasn't there. But he said he did give him permission and he understood how Pete could be confused. He says, yes, we did give him permission, and he did understand
Well,
that.
I understand how Pete could be confused.
And then, but then, in the same instance, I mean, I don't know exactly what needs to be done here. I think this whole situation,
Okay, so from now on, can we,
I think
do
this whole
we, as a
situation
court
has
and a
been
county, can
elevated.
we let people on there?
I think you have chose to elevate this situation to a point where it need not have been.
Well, the
And we
county
called the
attorney is
sheriff's
the one that
department,
put this
We called
on
the
here.
sheriff's department and we called the chief of police on 2 people that left willingly. Did you leave willingly?
No, Mr. Dockery told me he was not
Mr.
leaving.
Dockery, did you leave willingly? I'm asking you a question, sir. Did you leave willingly?
Yes, ma'am, there was no incident.
Were you arrested, sir?
No, ma'am.
Were you asked, did I ask you to leave?
No, you did not.
That's what I.
He waited for the law to get there. He never asked me to leave.
But you did leave, Mr. Dockery.
Yes, I did.
So we have torn our community apart.
Yes, and he told me that he had insurance that would cover him if something were to happen to him. Is that acceptable to
Carl
this
got
court?
irate when he found out he didn't have a hard hat on is what the problem was. That's why he got mad at me, because he didn't have a hard hat on. I asked him where his hard hat was, because he's right, it's a demolition job. You're supposed to wear a hard hat. It has a hard hat sign out there. And that's
also
what, it's all
says
escalated over
things
because he didn't
like
have his hard hat on.
Authorized personnel only. No
We had permission,
trespassing.
Carl. We had
You know what?
permission.
And it has a fence
Are
around
you
it.
authorized, Carl? I have a question. As the owner representative or the owners, who owns that building? Does Commissioner Court own it or do you own it? And if Pete went on there, James, could you go on there? Would you think you could go
Judge Shaw,
there?
you went on the record as well as the county attorney.
I asked what I asked,
In
but
your
listen,
construction meeting,
listen.
and you said these are the rules. Nobody is to enter that
That's
site.
right, but you know what? When the construction manager tells them that they can go in there, what do you want me to do?
On
Should
Friday.
I call the construction
On
manager and say,
Friday,
hey?
Judge, on Friday.
You've
Don't
escalated
confuse
this. You've
permission on
escalated
Friday
this.
with permission on Saturday. I think you know better than
I
that.
think
We're
there's-
all adults here.
I think there's a lack of anger management and a lack of emotional control, and I think this situation has been escalated beyond belief. When you call the sheriff's department and
Okay,
the chief of
okay,
police.
let me go to Mr. Dockery's house, go inside his barn, mingling around on a Saturday morning without permission, and let him walk outside and see me there and see if he doesn't get upset.
Carl, have you ever given anybody permission to go over there? Like
No,
perhaps?
no,
Mark
Bob, I
Podolsky?
have not.
What about Mark Podolsky? Does he just go in there on his own?
He went in the hallway and he was escorted by Mr. Gene, whatever his name, the
So
superintendent.
it's okay for Podolsky to go there, but not a commissioner? Is that right?
I was put in charge of that project, was I not?
You were
Mr.
put in
Vice
charge,
Chair?
Julie.
Stop it, this is not a public hearing.
No, you were not put
And
in
it will
charge
take,
of
this,
it.
this
You-
meeting will take place up here.
Bob, I don't think you're fooling anybody, and Judge, I don't think you are either, and Pete, you aren't either. You are against this courthouse restoration project, and you are, and also you are too. And you have done everything in your power to throw a wrench in it. You put it on 3 night meetings, 3 times. Pete, you put it on once. Barbara, you put
What's
it
wrong
on
with
once. Bob, you put it on once,
What's
to
wrong
cancel
with
the contract for the
But
restoration
that's not what's on
project.
the agenda.
Thank you.
Right,
off
but
the
see, we
agenda.
get back to the
Shows your
intent
intent. You have a
that
lack
you're
of anger
against the
management
problem.
and emotional
You're against the
control.
project.
You called
You're going
the
against the
sheriff.
will of the people. The people
No,
have
we're
voted,
not
and you're going against the will of
And
the
you know what,
people.
once the people
Yeah,
voted.
he needs to
we-
be removed from this
Mr. Busselman, hold
courthouse.
on. We voted,
Go ahead.
we voted as a court, we allowed to have a bond election. The citizens voted, we sent MJ Boyle the letter, did we not? Did that not happen?
Judge, were you not
Did that not
against this
happen?
project from the very
Carl, I
beginning?
don't have to tell you how I vote. You're wrong.
I don't
okay?
think you're
out of
fooling
line.
anybody.
He
You're
needs
out
to be
of line.
removed, Your Honor.
You're just out of line.
Yes.
But this lack of,
Needs
this
to be
lack of.
removed.
Sir, you're out of line.
Okay.
This
Bob,
lack of anger
you're out of
man-
line.
this lack of anger management and this lack of emotional control, we are gonna be the only sheriff's department in the history of man that when you call 911, they say, can you hold please
We
route
are
and
the
separate
laughing
elected
stock of the
officials?
county. You just heard Ms. Hunt say that we lost 4 points because we have no leadership.
And you know what? Where was that
And
leadership when
you
that
are the
building wasn't
presiding
ready?
officer of this
I'm
court,
fine by
Judge.
that. Where was that leadership when that building
you
wasn't ready when it
remember
was supposed to be ready,
Judge.
Mr. Hummel? Where was it? You're out of line. You have a lack of anger management
Okay.
and a lack of emotional
Oh,
control.
we're gonna send me to anger management now, Judge?
I mean, what are we
Okay,
gonna
well,
do?
it doesn't matter. Let's
You
just
told-
get back to
you
the
called me, you
agenda,
said, you
shall
know
we,
what?
Judge?
You said, I don't wanna do this, give it to Tracy, give it to Pete, give it to you, do whatever you want.
You do whatever you think you gotta do. I mean,
But there's no reason for us to be calling the sheriff's department, that if they left willingly.
if you
all this
ask
stuff can
somebody to
happen.
leave and they bow up to you and they say, I'm not leaving now, I'm a citizen of this county. I got a hard hat, I got insurance, I got everything I need. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, and I got permission from Commissioner Yower. So, I mean, what do you do? I wasn't gonna physically remove him. Well, I just called
What
the
do you
sheriff's
think?
department. And I think y'all need to read that report too, Pete. I think it's real clear that he did not have permission.
I had a copy of the report, I don't know what I did with it, and actually it didn't say much.
You mean you read the sheriff's report?
Yes, I did, Commissioner, I did.
I haven't seen it.
This isn't the agenda.
Yep.
One thing
Yeah, I
on the
know.
removal of Richard.
All right, it was expressed in this court that they thought we should get a professional to oversee this job, and I think that's still the correct thing to do. I know I nominated Carl to be in charge of it, gave him a chance to be in charge of it. The manner that he, the way he expressed himself last week, I thought it was very unprofessional and just not proper.
Was it not improper for you to go up there without my permission or MJ Boyle's or this court? Was that not improper?
Carl, if you look at the minutes, you were supposed to be the reporter to the court. It doesn't say in here, it does not say in here anything about, it says no contracts, no money spent, just your liaison. That's all it says.
Judge, you're contradicting yourself
No,
because
I'm
who
not.
on the record
I'm
said
not.
that nobody was to have
But what
access
is
to
your
that
job?
site because it was
But
a
then you called
liability
the
to the
sheriff,
county.
and the sheriff
and
did
you
his
did
job
not
by
want the
asking
county
him
to
to
get
leave.
sued.
The sheriff.
And now
did
you
his job
say
by asking him to
anybody,
leave.
any one of these 4 commissioners can tell anybody, oh yeah, go up there on Saturday morning when nobody's there and walk around, oh, but put your hard hat on and call your,
Make a motion.
so, I mean,
I'll make a motion that Carl be removed as manager of the courthouse restoration project and a professional be hired to replace him.
now would that be Matt Dockery or who would that professional be? Or would it be an independent?
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have to oppose that one, and I try to always have an explanation on it. I wasn't there that day. I do believe that I haven't put it in and everything, because I've been just kind of laughing, but, I'm sorry about that, but I do believe, I wasn't there, and Carl, we've been friends a long time and everything, but I do believe if you disrespected Matt or Pete, that's not professional. Now, that's, I'm being straight up with you, man. Now, on the other hand, on Pete's, I really would have thought that I could have just walked on the job site anytime. I didn't think I needed permission for it. I really honestly didn't think that one of the commissioners would need permission to. Now, I'm not saying that he had the right to tell someone else they could go on the job site, but me, myself, I didn't think I would need permission to go on that job site because we are commissioners court. Now, anybody else, I would have figured that they may need permission. But maybe somebody as experienced as Matt, I probably would have, if it was a mistake of Pete, I guarantee I probably would have done the same thing, because I probably would have told Matt, yeah, come on in, man. I wouldn't even have asked for permission to go on the site, because I figured as commissioners court, we would have the right to go on there. And now I know that we don't have the right to go on.
I'm not sure that's correct. I think you do have the right to go on there because this commissioner's court actually is in charge of the whole thing. You're the owner insofar as the contract is concerned.
That's why I don't think I had to ask
That's right. I
anybody
agree.
to go on there, not
I
the
think you're right.
contractors, not nobody. But
think
that's,
you're
I mean,
So all we have to do from now on is just go up there on a Saturday morning and it'll be okay?
but see, and the reason,
If the contractors are working in there, I guess so. If not, they should have the gate locked. Nobody can get in there.
But
Well, it is locked now, but
what I'm saying here is, the reason that I'm voting not to remove you right now, it's because there's a lot of controversy here, there's a lot of differences of opinions here and everything, and I can't really make my decision to get you out of there right now, because I wasn't there, and I'm not saying, you haven't denied that you,
Yeah,
that you disrespected
Commissioner
them, and I
Sherman
believe them
wasn't there
that you
I
probably
wasn't there
did.
either.
But, like Mr. Busselman's saying that,
But I believe we need to hire a professional.
And
But I don't say that,
I'm not
you know,
saying
Carl
that-
can be there. He's a commissioner just like the rest of us.
you know, when we were talking about the owner's representative for the annex building, this court decided we didn't want to spend that $36,000. We have Commissioner Yower. Commissioner Yower could do it. Well, the same thing. Well, now, the rules have changed once again. It's like with the bond money. We had this grant money, $617,000
That's not the
for
agenda,
phase
you're out of
one.
line.
Oh,
Please
but
stay with
now
the
we have to go
agenda.
out for
Are
bond
you gonna stay with
election.
the agenda? Please stay with
Right,
the agenda.
but it's just clear that y'all are trying to
Okay,
do
Pete, you
anything
made
you
a
can
motion,
to
Tracy, you seconded
sabotage
it.
the project.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Very
Go
clear.
ahead.
I'm sorry, Judge, the reason that I went against it like that, I already explained to him, because I like to have an explanation on it and everything. But Carl, I do believe maybe we should have, maybe someone, not that you don't have the experience there, because I know you're serving as what you're supposed to be doing, but we may need somebody like Matt Dockery with a lot of experience doing that and everything. But as of now, Carl, I don't, that's how I'm
Well,
voting.
the reason that I'm being removed is that I removed Mr. Dockery from the site that was endangering his life and his health and putting the county at risk for lawsuits. And, if that's wrong, and that's a good enough reason to remove me from the project, y'all go ahead and remove me. I mean,
Judge Shaw,
And
may I get you to
because
clarify the vote?
our
for
county
me?
attorney,
I'm not voting to.
Pete made a
remove you.
motion,
Yes.
Tracy, you seconded it?
Yes, and I just want the vote.
It hadn't finished, it kept going on, I'm sorry.
I'm
But,
sorry.
all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I oppose.
Carl and James opposed. The motion is 3.
You can't vote.
Can't vote.
Yeah, you can, let it go. The motion is,
You can't
Bob, what do you know about law?
that's real professional, Carl, that's enough, stop, you're out of
Well, he's a
line.
videographer.
Well, you're out of line. It's 3-2, Carol. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Number 8 on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove advertising for a request for proposals for a construction consultant liaison for the Karnes County Courthouse Restoration Project, and the author is myself. I just want somebody that's not emotionally tied into this project, that will go in and represent Karnes County the best they can.
Now, would
I
that-
suggest that
would
we
that-
advertise for it.
Would that be like a third party that's independent?
I don't know. I don't know if it'd be a
impartial?
third party.
Or would it be Mr. Dockery here?
I want an impartial party. I want somebody that has no ties. I don't want to
So-
hear for or
So you're not
against.
saying to hire Mr. Dockery?
No, I'm
and give
not.
him-
Carl, I would not vote for Mr. Dockery, and you wouldn't vote for him. That'd be two against.
I want
don't
somebody
think he
that's
should
fair and
represent
impartial,
someone else.
that has no emotional ties to any of this.
That's not on the agenda either, Your Honor.
No, it's
Well, it says a consultant, it's not somebody,
Not named consultant.
well, we didn't name anybody.
Carl did.
Well, we're not,
Is that
I
a
mean,
violation of law, Bond?
Sue even said that, you know, just let those comments go. They're not worthy of a comment. I think that we need somebody that doesn't have this just total emotional upheaval. Our sheriff department is overwhelmed right now. They need to be out protecting our citizens, not separating elected officials. So I think that we need somebody to
Oh,
come
is
work on this
Mr.
courthouse.
Godfrey an elected official?
Come work on this. So that's all I'm asking, is that we be able to advertise for somebody to come in here and represent Karnes County as a business venture, not as an emotional or any other kind of gain.
And would this come out of our grant money, Judge?
I'm asking to advertise for it right now.
Okay, is the county gonna pay for this expense?
I
or
guess
is
I
it
have to
gonna
ask
come
for
out
a
of
budget
grant money?
amendment if we do.
So we'd have to amend the budget?
It'd have to
to
come out
warrant
of
it to
$309,000.
Is it in the budget to hire an owner's representative?
We have $309,000 in the current budget to fund the courthouse restoration. It is not
So it
specific.
could come out of there, Luana?
Yes.
So since I'm the one that's asking for it, I'm making a motion that we do it. I just want somebody with no emotional control, where we can work this as a business and where daily operations can run smoothly without all this hassle every day.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Who's going to handle the advertisement?
Can you handle it? Can we ask you to do it? Will you do it for me? So can I amend that the county auditor will advertise?
Maybe she can do
She's smiling, I think I'm gonna take that yes. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? The motion is gonna be 5-0, there's no opposition? Okay, thank you. Number 9 on the agenda is the discussion and possible action regarding the terms, obligation, and rights of the tax abatement agreement between Karnes County and Select Energy Services, and that's myself. Is there somebody from Select here? I heard somebody from Select was gonna be here. Anybody? No takers from Select? Well, no, just look at your package, Tracy. What happened is Miss Frankie brought this to my attention, so Miss Frankie's actually gets the catch for this. But what it was is Mesa Energy, I guess, is a sister company to Select, and they transferred some property, but it's only partial. And Mr. Busselman did not do this with Select. Ross did it when it was done in 2010. It was done August 10th, 2010. You'll see there's a letter in there to Ross. And what that is they let us know what they do, that they did, there's real property and then there's the tangible property, and they did some change. But the changing that they did, they could do, but we do get a rebate back for some of that. And that's what's in here. But there's the letter for you to be able to read. Mrs. Frankie brought this to my attention, and then, oh my gosh, Mrs. Barnhill also brought it to my attention. So I sent something to Ross and had him go before it. And so what he did is he contacted Select, and they worked out an agreement, and you'll see that on page 2 of your email. It's dated January 9th, 2012. No, that's the one that Ross wrote to them. Read that one first. It's dated January 9th, 2012. Ross wrote that to Select. And he wrote it to Faye McCurl, or whatever her name is there. And then they wrote Ross a letter back. And Ross said what they were asking for was nothing beyond what they had already, but that some things would change, and that's broken down in this. It's broken down in the real property tax and the personal property tax on the very last page, and it's the assignment of the tax abatement agreement. And Ross said that the word reasonable was used in the first, I guess the initial. He doesn't see anything that's reasonable that has changed. And so he was in agreement with this assignment of tax abatement agreement. He has read it, and he has advised me, I apologize, that it's okay to sign. so we can get part of a rebate on some of that. But Miss Frankie caught it, so she's not here, but kudos to Miss Frankie, she's our catcher. Well, we need to sign it, but that's, it just,
So is there any idea or indication with that how much property is going to be rebated on as far as with the transfer between ownership?
it's broken down between the real property tax and the personal property tax. Ms. Frankie's gonna have to follow up with that. Because it's the buildings, Luana, that's what
Right.
it is, and so we're gonna have to break it apart and follow up. But we don't have any reason to say that they don't know, that they will no longer get their abatement for that reason. That's what that is.
So the real property is the land and the buildings, and that is subject to the tax abatement, and the equipment, trucks, and that stuff parked out there is taxable?
You know, I have notes written in my office, do you want me to get them?
Well, I just want to understand.
I just didn't bring them out with me. See, and it tells you right there, pursuant to section 10, the assignment, select, hereby assigns the real property improvement portion of assignment, buildings to Mesa Real Estate Partners. Mesa purchased the real property and the buildings from Select on September 9th, 2011, and leases the land and the buildings to Select. I mean, obviously, when they knew what they were doing, I mean, they knew what they were doing when they did it. And they knew that it would be stepping outside of the bounds of their agreement. It would just be a partial rebate. But you're right, it's a lot to hack apart.
So the abatement's in force?
Yes, sir.
We just have to sign this and say it's proper?
Yes, sir.
So we don't need any motion.
No, we need a motion. I do need a motion. I need a discussion and possible action. So I do need a motion. You know, mine says discuss, approve, disapprove. Ross sent me that. Ross sent me this. Discussion and possible action with the way you, I think it's in the letter. That's how I wanted it worded. You'll see it there.
All right, number 9, you're saying we do need a motion?
Yes, sir.
For you to sign it?
Uh-huh.
I'll make it. All right. I'll second it.
Made by James, seconded by Pete. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition? Motion carries. Carol, I'm gonna sign this, and I'm gonna run you a copy just to look, because you need to get the full original. And I'll have them send the full original back to you. Number 10 on the agenda is discuss, approve, disapprove the distribution of remaining funds, $19,182.02 in the animal control fund to the participating entities. That's Luana. You didn't have to get that.
With the cessation of the animal control agreement between all entities, this is the closing amount that we have remaining in the fund that we need to divide back between the participating entities. Karnes County's general fund will get 50%, $9,591.01. City of Karnes City will get $6,138.25. City of Falls City will get $959.10. And the City of Runge will get $2,493.66. And again, that's based on the percentage of the original participation in the animal control.
So that's just giving the money back to them.
Correct.
I make a motion that we distribute the remaining funds, the animal control fund, to the following entities, with Karnes County getting 50%, Karnes City 32%, Falls City 5%, and Runge 15%. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No
Give a
opposition?
second.
I got Carl as the second, it was the first one.
There was a lot of
Did I
seconds.
beat somebody?
Humble got in on that.
All righty now.
I'm gonna have to hear it loud and proud. if you
All
want
in
a
favor,
second.
say aye.
Okay.
Aye. There's no,
Aye.
we already did that.
Yes, ma'am.
No
Good, wave our hands.
opposition. Motion carries.
On 11.
Number 11 is to discuss, approve, disapprove continuation of bonds for elected appointed officials. Please see Exhibit A. I stuck it on there because there was too many of them for me to put on the agenda. Usually we break it down, but this is everybody's.
And if you'll notice, about halfway through, we have already had approval issued by court for Julie Scheibelbein's and Hilda Castro's. So we'll only be approving the other remaining listed, which is all elected officials. We bond 1 year at a time.
I make a motion to continuation bonds for the elected appointed officials.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition? Motion. I'm sorry, I'm pointing this way, it's Carl. Number 12 is to discuss, approve, disapprove, authorizing advertisement for time warrants for acquisition of the new ambulance. Amount required is $126,650. The quotation received is through the Houston Galveston Area Council of Governments, HGAC, therefore competitive bidding is not required. That's Luana.
We have in our current budget to purchase a new ambulance, and we also, on the opposite side, put the funding with time warrants. So before we actually order the ambulance, we need to advertise for our funding mechanism, so we'll have the money to pay for it when it arrives.
Is it the same amount? I mean, dumb question, but
There are no dumb questions.
Just the one that doesn't get asked, right?
Sometimes there's a lot of dumb responses.
So we have all that. Man, it's just not be a nice day, is it? Number 12 is, you already have it done the way it needs to be done, everything's there, so the advertising for the funding's there, so you just did the 2 steps in 1 step, or it just bound together and we're good by that, right?
It's already
And I make
in
a
the
motion that
budget.
we approve the authorizing advertisement for time warrants for the acquisition of a new ambulance in the amount required of $126,650,000. Received through HGAC.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. What? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition, motion carries 5-0. Number 13, discuss, approve, disapprove, authorizing changes in property valuations as submitted by the Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool Valuation Comparison Report. Please see Exhibit B. I put that on there, that's our insurance went up. And it went up like 1%, but there's a breakdown. If y'all go through, there's a little Texas Association of Counties thing like this in your package. It gives you building summary reports of what happened and why things went up, the valuations of where they went, and the whole total is, if you look, there's an exhibit that I stuck here because there's no way to put this out to the public without showing on the cover sheet. So I gave them the cover sheet. It's page 5, it's Exhibit B. I'm gonna just show you what our building's doing, that the insurance went up and it went 1%, went up 1%. Some went down, some went up.
But overall, it's just 1%.
But the court needs to carefully look at that because it's got the valuation of the courthouse, which we have to keep insured. Is that the valuation we want to insure it at? It also has the new building. Is that a correct valuation for the new building? Or do we feel like it should be more or less? We can alter the valuations, but it has to be by action of the court.
Can I ask you, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I got a stupid question. I know Mr. Busselman has put, I believe, precinct 4 yard on the agenda several times to lease it out. Has the insurance, is still current on that?
All
But if we
property-
were to lease it out, we would omit our insurance, or would we keep?
We would remain covered through our insurance. They may have to give some type of renters or leasers insurance to us, but we would remain with ours.
it's in the paper today or tomorrow.
Did
What
you
about-
did you get that legal description in there, Bob? That a boy.
What about the offices on the square? They went down in value once they got completed. That's, we probably need to. I mean, they're only, it's only insured for $4.5 million. was 4 3/4 prior to being finished.
I can't read the headings at the top because my copy is way small, but does that 4.5 million include all furnishings, or is that just the?
Okay, this right here says new gross insurable value.
Okay, see, the building's at 4 million.
Okay, this is previous building insurable value, this is previous contents and EDP insurable value. And then this is
See, but
previous
you see where it
gross
says
insurable.
notes? Oh, I'm sorry,
So those
Carol,
two
go ahead.
together. And then this is new gross insurable. So it is now, yeah.
Carol, in our notes, look at the bottom on the notes, on offices on the square. It doesn't, Carol, it doesn't say anything. Look, like it doesn't say, you know, contents or
Yeah, it
anything.
doesn't have anything under the notes.
No.
And the reason that this reevaluation came out is because a gentleman hired through TAC came out and assessed all our properties. And this is the
Is
recommended,
that the guy you walk around with? Is that the guy you walk around with?
yes, part of the time. I think part of the time he went on his own.
So what do we need to do to get these right? Just call them? I mean, do we need to?
If we don't agree with whatever they're proposing, we need to submit what valuations we want to assess to the properties.
And we would determine that figure amongst the court here.
It's a decision of the court. But this was an independent valuation done by, gosh, I don't remember his name,
When was the evaluation done?
a couple of months ago.
Alana, do you have any recommendation? No.
It's a court decision.
See, we need to, where it says, I mean, we need to get our contents in there. I mean, 'cause see on the note, I don't know what they did, the change in value on the annex went down 5%. There's a decrease of 5%.
Contents.
I'd like to have our contents insured.
There is contents in there, 624,300.
What about?
The fourth column from the right includes contents of each building.
Didn't our contents increase? Was this a with or without the furniture in there? You remember when they did this? What's the date on this thing?
That should just be the building.
Because see, they don't have a note. I think we'd have to clarify that.
The contents of the offices on the square is the 624 plus thousand, fourth column from the right. The total for the new building, the offices on the square, the building and contents is the 4.5.
So why did it go down, I
Because it wasn't complete here and they just had an estimated cost.
guess? See, the previous gross was 4.7 and then it went down to 4, oh, because it was just estimated.
Right,
Okay, I got you.
You want to get it? You want to see?
These are the values they would use for any claims.
Huh?
These are the values they would use for any claims.
To replace it. I
Correct.
understand. It's not what they're worth right now. So I guess it's all right.
Okay, I can't contest any of these values without quite a bit of study about it, make a determination. They're within reasonable range, I think we should approve it as is.
Is that your motion?
I'll make that motion.
I second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any opposition? No opposition. Motion carries 5-0. Can't remember where we're at. Number 14 is to discuss, approve, disapprove installing 57 total shades, mesh shade roller shades, 1,300, 1,000 series fabrication for exterior $10,379. Metal shade roller shades, 1,300 1,000 series fabric with fascia for office hallways, $1,163. Tent at 3 entrances, entrances is misspelled, and 2 offices, panorama window film, $3,577.
But that, should that be part of the construction? I think it was included in the construction, was it not?
I think it was, and maybe Commissioner Dower can shed some light on this, because I think he was in charge of that project, and I think, didn't you omit these?
You know, I had nothing to do with the shades, that was done long before I came on the project.
I thought you had told me that.
The shades omission were done in the bidding process.
Right.
Shades were omitted in the bidding process.
Okay.
All the shades were on the plan, they were all put in. These were left out. Now, I don't know what all this includes, don't know where they go, but I do know that we probably need to do something in the courtroom for security reasons. I've been told by one of the DAs, Jennifer, oh, I like it open, I don't think we need to put anything there. I know Stella said we need security in there, it needs to be closed also, people can't see in. And that Daisy wants shades in hers because she said she works at night, and that she doesn't want someone coming and looking in there when she's working at night. And I know that the DPS said they have too much light shining in there with that west sunshine in the window, they need shades in there. But I don't know where 57 shades are gonna go. Where'd you come up with 57 shades?
Also, I've been told that sun like hits the windshield of a car, and then it's just like beams in there like a laser beam, and
Where?
In every window.
facing Calvert particularly, I've been told about the district courtroom, the multipurpose room.
This
But all
would
these-
include all the windows that were not taken care of, basically everything that was not taken care of.
Everything on the
was
north and
most
south
of it.
side of the building.
So what I was told by Ruth was that every window was supposed to have shades, but for some reason or another, they were deleted.
Yeah,
They were deleted
I-
at contract time.
I remember some discussion of the sun rising in the east and setting in the west, and somebody felt that there was no need for any shades on any other side.
The button shades were I remember the button shades being deleted, there's some kind of,
Right.
The
Yeah,
laser.
like-
there you go.
$5,
Right.
Yeah.
They were eliminated, get on the
We can
budget.
buy something a little cheaper.
Well, I think those were
But where is
just,
the money
Those
gonna
were
come
the
from?
top windows, those are not
Yes.
in the windows that
We have
are
to
gone,
amend
those
the
are
budget.
those top windows. And that's
Come
not
out
the
of
windows that,
construction
that,
costs.
they're,
none of these
that bid on.
are,
These are the regular
Yeah.
shades like every other window has.
Okay, Daisy, you got this price?
Yes, sir, I do.
I mean, you asked someone to get this price, is that correct, or Carl? or-
Yes, yes, sir, we did. This was the same company that installed the other ones. This is the same people that came in and put the other shades. And we were told by them that every window was supposed to have a shade, but it was, for some reason, somebody told them not to do all the windows.
They cut that to get on the budget.
thank you, Bob, for clarifying that.
Cut a lot of stuff to get on the budget.
They did.
We can get it built.
And that was all action of the previous board.
There's only a few windows that have the shades, not every window has them.
Well, this says 10 to 3 entrances and 2 office panorama
Wait a
windows.
second, I wanna,
Now,
well.
I don't know that all this is necessary.
I think one of those is the interior window to the sheriff's office, that they're just so open to all the people in there, and that was the
And the
tenting.
DPS also.
And the DPS was
Their office
tented.
is just so
We gotta
open.
accept the building if we could make changes, or it's his.
Bad design, very bad design.
The only concern that I have is we haven't accepted the building yet. Is this going to, what is this going to do with that?
It's gonna put him in the cookie jar, right?
Well, I mean,
We got it.
you don't think the architect would permit us to put blinds on a building?
I wouldn't trust him.
Well, it's also not a matter of him permitting, it's he's gonna charge extra to furnish a change order, authorize a change order.
We need to get rid of
It's
him.
gonna cost us more than just the shades.
I thought that had already been done, Pete.
No,
We gotta
he hadn't signed off. He has to come back
Nothing
here
for
and take
mobile.
his last pictures and inspect the fire alarm,
We're
inspect the
gonna
things
take
on
no
the
action on
windows.
this until we get that done.
And he said he'll call when he comes down, but we have to,
Because I was gonna pay him too.
we've gotten to a point where he has admitted to me on the phone that he accepts our agreement with Kruger to settle this. He said he's accepted that, but he's still calling asking, are you sure you're gonna do that? Are you sure you're gonna do that? So he hadn't signed off yet.
So you take no action.
Take
Well,
no action
I say
until
take no action.
until we can get away from that architect.
And I still have to,
How long do you think?
We'll get
this
you
will
in
take?
line. We don't wanna pay double.
Mm-mm.
I know what he'll charge us twice.
What kind of time frame do you think
we have to get inspection stickers for the fire alarm are not on there. They have to be on there yet. They're supposed to be in the mail. Willie called about that and they said, well, we'll put them in the mail. They came down, they inspected it, supposedly fixed the fire alarm malfunction that was causing it to go off. And it hadn't gone off in about 2 weeks. Is that right, Carol?
I've heard it beep all last week,
You heard it beep?
but it's not the big honking noise, it's just the beep.
Just a beep? Okay, so, anyway, but they're supposed to, that's supposedly fixed, and he's supposed to come down and certify that that's fixed. Then we have, I've sent in a paper, one last ADA inspection that has to be done before he signs off, so that, I sent it in 3 times, and they sent it back, twice, so, I don't know what's wrong with it. Sign it and send it in. I came and got verification that I was in charge of the building from Commissioner Court meetings. Remember when I got that, Carol? I sent that in, and they said, well, what's that for? The paper says I have, anyway, I'm still working on that stuff, but he has not signed off, so we'll take no action on this, obviously.
No action.
The next item on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove, declaring the furniture, furnishings, computers, typewriters, tables, chairs, general office equipment, furnishings, surplus.
Wait a minute, if I've been removed, I think we just strike these two.
No action?
I mean, right?
Okay. You want, that's 15 and 16, but I still need to read them so we can say no action.
That's gonna speed it on up, isn't it?
That's gonna be discuss, approve, declaring certain furnishings to be significant historical value and allow. Okay, oh wait. No, okay, no action on 15 and 16, Carol. Can you hear with all the mumbling up here, Carol?
I'll let you know if I
15 and 16?
can. I got that. And 17 too, I'm guessing.
Disapprove allowing furniture components
Yeah,
are
we're
needed,
gonna
some
strike
removed
that one.
items. No action, Carol.
Got it.
Number 18 is discuss, approve, disapprove, giving Richard Jalupka an increase in salary for the supervisor position, replacing retiree Homer Rios. Presently, we have budget for 15 full-time employees with 10 positions filled. The available employee budget will make this possible upon approval. Jeffrey. Hey, Jeff.
How you? I put this on here, after Homer Rios retired, he left this position, and I put Richard Jalufka in charge, and Richard really stepped up to the plate and is doing a lot of work for me. He keeps all the records on all the oil changes for the it's helping me go out on the roads to work with the oil companies and stuff where we can't keep up with it. There's 3 of us running with it, and I feel that I'll take that dollar that was in the budget for Mr. Rios, and I would like to give it to Richard.
All right, I make a motion to approve giving Richard Jalupka an increase of salary for the supervisor position, replacing retiree Homer Rios. Presently, we have the, well, for the $1 per hour, right?
Yes, sir. I'll second it.
All in favor? I'm sorry, Carl, but were you gonna make a motion or you just?
Well, he got it, but I got a third.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Any opposed? I'm sorry. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0, Carol. Number 19, discuss, approve, disapprove using the employee budget to hire part-time employees. It is currently difficult to hire full-time employees. I've had several people apply for part-time These applicants are retired, that's Jeff.
I have some people that are coming in, I even have a former county commissioner that walked in out of DeWitt County, would like to come work for me. And he wants to run equipment for me. I got some other people that applied that would like to come run a maintainer. And if I can get these people to run after a rain, that will sure help me to get all them blades up and running. And we could take some of these salaries that we have for the full times and maybe use it for part-time.
What we'll have to do is amend the budget to move from line item to, and create a part-time line item. But we'll need to know how many part-time positions and at what pay rate and and how many hours to move, so we can put it on the agenda to make that budget amendment.
Well, we'd run them when the moisture would be there to run blades, blade the roads when, you got moisture, and then if I need a
I
part-time
don't think
blade
that
man.
answers your question.
We still need number of hours.
Well, I don't know, it depends on the moisture.
Well, you can't do that with the dollars. You
Well, I
have to say,
understand that. Well,
you have
I
to say
just-
1,000 hours,
And if
or
we don't use it,
if you don't use it, it stays in that line item until it's
Okay.
amended to move
Okay.
it somewhere else.
yeah.
You just have to move it second time, that's all.
Sir?
Just move it the second time, that's all.
38 hours or less.
Poor Jeff, I feel your pain though.
Yeah, I understand.
But,
How will we have to word that? Can we word it and pass it, or does it have to go on as a different budget item?
Well, you
or
can-
What are you saying?
You can do the approval to create part-time positions, but at the next meeting, we will have to have a budget amendment moving from the full-time salary position to part-time at $10 an hour for 800 hours or whatever the figures are that are come up with.
Say on a 40-hour.
so, we can
month.
approve as part-time people and then do an amendment. Okay, and we'll do that at the next meeting.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve part-time positions for the Road and Bridge Department. And Mr. Beatrick has to provide us salaries and hours expected for our next, meeting.
Okay.
I second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition? You oppose, Jane? Is that you? No, I'm sorry, Carol, none. Motion carries 5-0. Number 20 on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove granting a pilot waiver payments in lieu of taxes for the Runge Housing Authority, a tax exempt housing project, and allow county judge to execute resolution if approved. This is for the Runge Housing Authority, and I think this is something we've always done, is it not, Mr. Busselman?
Sorry, I don't know.
I thought this was the one we always did.
I don't think so, I don't remember it.
Can you explain what it would,
It's in the resolution, if you read it, it says, is the policy, and that would be of Karnes County, to support efficient management and maintenance of low-income public housing, and whereas the funds available for payment in lieu of taxes to, Karnes County by the Runge Housing Authority are needed for continuing management and maintenance of low-income public housing, and now therefore resolved, they didn't take our names out, is why the blanks look full. I mean, they didn't take the thing out. By the Commissioners of Karnes County, and all pilot payments payable by the Runge Housing Authority on low-income housing projects be waived, and that this waiver continue each year until such that a pilot is reinstated by separate resolution.
I don't remember that being the case, Jeff, but I knew it was a critical here, so.
I talked to somebody and I thought it was, but I don't understand why we wouldn't do this for a housing authority. I mean, they don't have hardly any housing in Runge. The authority is extremely small.
We've done about 90.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There's plenty of them.
Where, in Runge?
There's 90 houses in there, 100. Go
In that
around.
housing authority in those
Yes,
apartments?
yes, ma'am, you can around.
Judge, there's 88.
88. I
It doesn't
counted
look that
one.
big.
well, there's one of them.
But
Well,
there's
there's
some
some
new ones.
downtown and there's some out by the cemeteries.
Oh, I wasn't counting the ones out by the
They're
cemetery.
apartment
There you go.
apartments.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about the ones where we always went and worked cases.
Well, you going to open the can of worms with the other cities' housing authorities too.
Very possible.
Somebody had told me we had always done this. Have we not always done this?
I've never seen it.
We've never done it?
Don't do what you've always done, or what's been done. in the
Oh, well, no,
past.
but I'm just
That's
asking
your
Scott.
problem.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
You're
But-
welcome, Carl.
Well, I mean, we don't have to do this. And
Let's just table
if
it.
anybody wants to, no, we're not tabling anything, we can do no action. And if anybody wants to call Pablo and talk to him, or figure this out, or work on it, they can.
So let's take no action on it?
I'll make a motion to take no action. We don't need a motion for no action.
No action.
But I totally forgot about the things out like the cemetery. Boy, y'all just increased it hugely.
Old baseball
I
park,
know.
there's several of them up there.
Number 21 is to discuss, approve, disapprove amending county attorney's budget to allow for payment of warrants, officers' mileage for serving warrants.
I had my budget to have a salary for a warrant officer, but it never dawned on me that he'd have to drive around. So I'd like to just add in, not only no extra money, just the money that's there will be divided between mileage and his wages.
Do we have to do an amendment, or can we just do it like it is?
We need
Well, it
it.
says amending. It's there.
It's
You have it.
amended to allow that in my budget.
Well, he's working for the merchant, so I'm for it.
Well, I need to.
I make a motion that we amend the county attorney's budget to allow payment of warrant officers' mileage for serving warrants.
Out of the same budget.
Out of existing funds.
Out of existing funds. Still second, James?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition, 5-0, motion carried. Number 22 on the agenda is to discuss, approve, disapprove an emergency amendment to increase the service to the sheriff's department for 6 tacos, 6 deputies, radios, rig out, vests, pistols, shotguns, rifles, fuel, radar. It's broken down into costs for a total of $531,684.70. And that's Sheriff DeLuca. I'm sorry, I didn't put his name on here. We don't need it.
A lot of money. Not bad. I couldn't get it.
This is just for, county for,
Sheriff, are we gonna have a bake sale to raise all
that's
the money?
what I'm thinking.
I'll start making right now.
No, man. I'll throw it at you.
Okay, guys, let's stop. We're still in a meeting. Are we struggling with that concept that we're still in a meeting?
Is this well?
That's it. No, we ain't got 12. This is the last couple of years.
What's the wires here?
No, it's been brought to my attention on several occasions over the last year, because I'm really, am out in the public a lot, like a lot of public officials. Every place I go, I'm inundated with questions, why not this, why not that, stuff of that nature. I know that Joe Baker's people did an article the other day on number of local crashes spikes. I've got it in the countywide right here. The traffic in Karnes County had just become unreal. And what's really, not, I guess it could be described as scary. They're saying we're not even at the first steps of the Eagle Shell population explosion here. I've talked to the people, which is Larry Busby, Live Oak County. I talked to Jody Zaveski, DeWitt County, and I talked to Glenn Sockley, who's in Gonzales County. They're joining us, and they also has had a peak in population all due to this oil field. And basically what it is, when you have all this oil field, you have a lot more traffic. You have a lot more traffic, you got a lot more trash. You got a lot more trash. I'm talking about litter, not trash. I knew y'all was gonna catch on that, but that's what it is. Every day I'm getting inundated. And they're calling, they meet me on the cafes, at stock shows, and I feel the people's pain. And that's why I'm asking for this. And just like I've showed y'all, the major crimes, we're holding them down. You know, I mean, they hadn't risen that much, probably maybe 10 or 15%. But I also got a pretty good team of people working with me right now. Thanks to y'all for giving me some special deputies. They know we have special deputies here. We have people that will work CVU. And Daisy can attest to this. The truck traffic has just come unreal, and I've got every sheriff department right now that connecting us, trying to get a CVE deputy. This is something they're looking at, but they're real hard to come by because they're all ex-DPS. Ex-DPS, like I said, they train these people for years and years and years, it's second nature. And I know, I've talked to Jimmy Pierce, and I know Daisy's has gone up, Carolyn's gone up, all the JP's has gone up, Kathy. And that's what I wanted to show you on the citations. That most of that has come in the last maybe 5 to 6 months. And I've had the CVE trooper here, I guess, since October 1st, somewhere along in there. So the truck traffic out there, they understand it. They can understand a black and white showing up. They come in sweeps or strike teams or whatever. They come in whenever you can get them. I mean, I called David Johnson and say, I need help. He said, stand in line. And I know David Johnson for going on 40 years now. He's a sergeant over there with Lasting Way. So this is why I'm asking for more people, for the simple reason. I'm trying to get ahead of the curve. They say we're at 27,000 people right now. I don't know how you count people in travel trailers, but somebody said we're sitting at 27,000. I talked to Jody, I talked to Glenn Socklaven. He said we're gonna have 15, 18, 20,000 more people by this time next year. That's what they're projecting. So I'm coming to y'all, and I hear it every day, you know, the truck traffic, the roads, you know, everything. You slow down, everybody comes up to you, you need working my road. You need to be working my road.
For a second. You're too long-winded to have to turn it over.
No, thanks.
Not yet.
Sorry, come on.
Well, yeah, not yet.
Still on cue.
He was on TV the other day, he got used to it.
Go.
Like I said, I got people that's out of San Antonio, they come down here, because I mean, this is something we're gonna have to live with. I mean, it's nothing that's gonna go away in the near future. Everybody's talked about the Austin chalk and stuff of this nature, 5, 6 years. We're talking, I mean, a long time here. I mean, we're talking 12, 15, even talking 20 years. So I want to try to get ahead of this so I can get more people out there on the road, try to make places safer, because people living in the city are very fortunate. Y'all have a police department that covers about 25 square miles. Both of y'all, Karnes City and Kennedy, both have police departments that has almost as many officers as I have. Almost. I mean, but they cover 25 square miles, and you know they have truck traffic, but it's not running 70 miles an hour, running through the, you know, all these places and tearing up all the roads and stuff, because most of the places got truck routes. But lucky us, we got 755 square miles, a lot of old road that's not been very good, never was very good, and even the good roads. I drive in on 239 every day, and right in front of Slick, that road, everybody driving on the center stripe right now because that road's so tore up. I've got a call in the text out to go there right now. Stop sign at 72 and 239, they cannot keep that light up. It's knocked down again. This is what I'm saying. When I've got one deputy out there, or possibly 2 on a good day, then we can kind of control one end of the county or the other end. With what I'm telling you right now, I can control a lot more of the county, slow down, hope to save people's lives. And that's basically what I'm looking at right now. Because, as y'all know, the Barnett Shell told us, I'm not trying to be no scare factor or nothing like that, but they said at the Barnett Shell up there at Fort Worth, when you start losing a person a day, then you have hit the full big time. And we have airline coming here. Y'all see the helicopters coming all the time. I mean, it used to be once, twice a month. I've got everybody right now at GPS, because I got them learning the GPS, because this is what we're bringing them in every day to places out here in the rural Karnes County. And just like the other day, B County, that was a bad wreck down there. But this is something I'm looking at. I was thanking y'all. I still thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me a raise, giving me the 3 deputies. Now, I didn't think I'd be coming back this fast, but I'm really in. I got to look down the road, because I don't want to be the person they said, well, the sheriff, at least he didn't ask, he's trying to make do like we've always have. Let's don't be like we were in the past. Let's step up to the plate
and be one of the leading counties in this 3 or 4 county area. And I mean, like right now, Kirby Rumby over in Goliad, he said, it's unreal. And he's in Goliad County. So that's what I'm saying. I want to throw this out to y'all. I know we're not in the middle of a budget. I've been doing this for 7 years. This is my 8th year of being sheriff in Karnes County. I've seen us go from Mayberry to suburbs of San Antonio in a matter of a year. I mean, we are a suburb of San Antonio right now.
I don't know if y'all ever look in y'all's packages, but I've been taking all those and putting them in the bag, those letters that I'm getting from people. And I've been putting in his package, so obviously somebody's reading the package. Because I get them too.
I know you're gonna ask a question, Lauren.
What is your current staff of patrolling deputies?
Right now, my patrolling deputy, I think I have 6. That's on a good, because that's without running, we still have. And I'll be telling you, we got district court, we got county court. When we have all these different courts, I've got to pull people in to work these courts, because I can't find nobody retired around here. Being a police officer won't be a bailiff. And everybody seems to want to have a bailiff now in county court, juvenile court, CPS court, so I actually pull people off the road. And I still have my transport deputies, and I still have the same jail staff. You know, we didn't improve on the jail staff, which is something I have to think down the road here, because I just had 8 people working the jail. And like I said, if you have a dispatcher and you pull a jail person, guess what? Hello, I've got a jail person in the courtroom, and I don't have nobody running the jail.
Are all your deputy positions currently filled?
No, I'm short one right now, and I asked LaJuan the other day. I know I can't compete with San Antonio. I know there's a lot of ACOG classes coming out, a lot of SAC classes coming out. Victoria College we got people down there right now trying to snag people. And here we go again. Thank y'all for the raise. I mean, thank y'all. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, to get a raise like we did for my deputies. But what's real tough, we're up to where everybody else is right now. We're not that much ahead. I think a few counties we're just a few $100s ahead a year, but we're up to where everybody else is, even with the raise y'all gave me. That's why I shot the big number, the big number out, for the simple reason I knew I was going to be competing with everybody else, and I still am. And like I said, 6, it sounds like a big number, but you have to remember, when I shot them numbers out to you before, I equipped the Tahoes out of my seizure money, which I depleted it, because I was so thankful that y'all was giving me the Tahoes and giving my people a raise, which you gave everybody in the county a raise, because me asking. You know, y'all gave everybody a raise, and I think the people in the county should thank you know, y'all too. So, but this is what I'm saying. I've had private individuals donate shotguns to us. I had the DA donate Glock pistols to us. I've had a NRA give us. Here we go again. I had NRA give us money to give everybody bulletproof vests. I never asked y'all. I mean, Carl's been here, Jane been here for a while. I never asked y'all for this. I've always tried to been out there working on grants, like all the communication stuff, all the handheld radios. It didn't cost y'all a dime. Well, hello. All them monies are drying up. Tracy?
I got one question.
Sir?
All of this new equipment, how long will that last?
Basically, a vest got a 5-year shelf life on it. A Glock pistol lasts a lifetime. Shotgun lasts a lifetime. Take care of it. Rifles last a lifetime. Cars, you know, cars in 3 years. And with all this extra patrolling out here, they're not sitting in coffee shops. They're not putting a mile on these Crown Vics.
Sheriff, would these be patrol units that are out on county roads? Because most of my complaints are coming from Fall City, Runge, and deep county roads.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking way out in the middle of nowhere. Am I traveling to go look at these places and sit there, and those 18-wheelers like down a county road this wide, you know? They're taking the ditch, they're doing whatever. They don't care where they're at or who they're running off the road.
Well, that's what it is. That's why I'm asking for this amount. So
I'm
I
saying
can
these
put
would be patrol deputies,
these
not
are patrol-
special.
These ain't special deputies like I asked last time, like for the CVU.
I mean, we have some in Fall City, Runge, these unincorporated areas of the county, out on the county roads.
Right. I mean, this is the people out in the county. This is gonna be on.
In other words, in the next 3 years, all we're gonna be out is their salary and their fuel, basically.
And maybe another vehicle. And maybe another, like I said, we go through a vehicle about every 3 years. We put on about 30,000 after
Well,
100,000.
each year, maybe we can buy one or two to keep it that way.
Well, that's what I've been trying to do for the last
several
so
years.
much at one time.
The litter out there is
Get up to par, then
astronomical.
maybe we save money.
I mean, we are trashed out. Talk about a trashed out county, I mean litter wise. It's
Right.
just running down the ditches. And I know we had talked about getting some resolutions. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna explain why, because it's not in my realm to explain why that can't come to pass right now. But it's trashy out there. If you go down some of our county roads, they're trashed. I mean, literally. People are throwing out big bags.
I live on one,
You have currently how many deputies?
just on the state highways.
I believe I have 10.
I don't know, Ash.
10, this will bring you up to 16.
Right.
And how many per day will be out there on the beach?
Well, that's what it is. Most time I'm still pulling, you know, with my specialized deputies. I had the same deal. I used to have one at night, Monday, you know, here we go again, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. On Thursday afternoon, we kind of do a double shift, have a swing shift, where I got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We've got 2 men. And this is what I'm trying to get to at least a 3-man, so I can cover
3 at night and how many during the day?
same deal, 3 during the day.
3 at night, 3 during the day?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 12-hour shift for them. So I started at 6, and like I said, we got some swing shifts
So
going on.
that'd be almost one deputy per precinct.
Bingo.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the emergency amendment to increase the sheriff's
Do we
budget.
have, do we have $500,000?
Luana's trying to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry, Luana.
Number one, I'm not against law enforcement, believe you me. I encountered the city of Floresville and DPS and Wilson County on Sunday afternoon,
Oh, that's right.
not by choice either. I just think $500,000 amendment at one time right now until there's documentation of improvement in activities out there, I think it's a high amendment.
Do we have the money though, Luana?
I would have to go back and check we have it in the fund balance.
We do have it in the fund.
But if we tie $500,000 into personnel and equipment, what happens if we have a hurricane like Katrina or Claudette or this summer? Then what are we gonna do?
But if we have $500,000 out there, I mean, how much do we have in unencumbered funds right now? What is,
Right off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you that. That would probably take at least a quarter of it out, I would imagine.
this would take a quarter of it out?
I would think
Of
so.
unencumbered funds. So we have almost $2 million sitting in unencumbered funds. So if this only took a quarter out for public safety, I'm sorry, but I'm in agreement with Carl. I don't think it's too much because we have people begging us daily. And I know it sounds like, and until we encounter that personally ourselves, but they're begging us daily. Fall City and Rundy are killing me. I mean, out in the middle of nowhere, where these people are, you know, wells are and stuff, they're begging us for help. And I'm just gonna have to put that public safety first, so.
Well, when it comes budget time, what are you gonna use for the gauge onto whether to keep the same amount of deputies?
But I don't
What
I
are
don't
you
think we
gonna keep?
knew that this was, the only reason I agree that it's an emergency amendment, I don't think we knew that wrecks were gonna spike like this. I don't think we knew. I don't think we knew how fast and furious this was coming in here.
Well, the sad
Kennedy's
part
adding-
is they need to be
Kennedy's
proactive,
adding
not
police
reactive.
departments, Karnes City's adding police. You know, I talked to Don and I talked to some of the city council members in Kennedy and Karnes City before they started. They said the one thing that they will not skimp on is deputies, because they said that's where they feel like we're getting hit the worst right now.
Well, my question is, come budget time, what are you going to use as the gauge for the judgment of, do we keep funding 16 positions? Do we fund 12 positions?
If it looks like we did something wrong, then we need to admit that we overstaffed, we overshot. But until then, people are begging us for help daily. I mean, we can take them back out just as easy as we put them in there.
What if you do it as a gradual increase? Do 3 now and 3 in 6 months and see if it's working.
I don't, just the way that,
The
way that-
3 at night, he said, 3 during the day, that's not even one more precinct.
I know, and I think we need them. I mean, I
Precincts
think,
are
we have city cops riding around every day. And I mean, I see them in my neighborhood every day. I know people that live in the country that hadn't seen a cop since they don't know when. We need patrol out there.
I only get them when I call.
Well, please don't do that.
I might,
Please
I
don't
might.
do that, Mr. Shockamine. Please don't do that.
But also, just because you pass it,
Well,
that doesn't mean
but
it's gonna
please
take
don't do
months
that.
to get the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it might take them a
You
while
can't
to get up
hire
off the
people that
ground.
quick.
And if it doesn't, and something wrong, I'm a big girl. I'll admit I did it wrong at budget time. But until then, if that's Carl's motion, I second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Wait.
I'm sorry.
I don't mind going with the sheriff and everything. I don't have a problem with it, I know we do need, and I see the traffic out there and everything, but that's still $500,000, and I'm sure the taxpayers are gonna want some kind of answers. Can you have the deputies, write up, I know how I think the Karnes City cops show how many buses they have, how many people they arrest, everything they
That's what I
have.
just did.
Yeah, right, but like individually rather than all together to see which one is, which ones are actually stopping more people, or which ones are, I don't know if that's too much work on y'all or anything, and I'm sorry to ask, but.
But like I said, some.
We'd like some accountability for the money we're
Right,
giving.
I understand
I
that.
would
Like-
appreciate that.
And like some of my deputies, they're kind of multi-purpose deputies, you know, like I
But these are
said.
patrol units.
Yeah, these are all going purpose.
Right.
And y'all.
You want a blotter is what you want from the sheriff, is that what
I
you're
want,
saying?
I want something to show that our taxpayers $500,000 win, that they're really stopping these rigs. They're not just
No.
at coffee, like you said, I know they're not at coffee shops, but not at coffee shops. They're actually busting these people that are doing illegal. I don't know, what do y'all think? Monthly report?
But it's like Carl said, there's one for
Because
rules,
it-
one for procedure, right? I see what you're
Because
saying, you're
it's
totally
not, and
right.
it's not that much, it won't fall over the sheriff, because if you tell your deputies to keep accountability of their own stops and everything, it doesn't fall on your back, it falls on
Well,
each one.
they do a daily log, and we can comprise all this stuff, and like I said, some of these deputies, you know, they are pulled in, you know, they're not out there actually working, you show them sitting in county court for 6 hours.
No, and I know.
Or you have them out here in district court for 6 or 8 hours. And you know, on a jury trial, you got a deputy pulled out, and you got him sitting there for eight hours a day, 3 days, you know, for 3 days in that week for a jury trial. So there's some, I know the accountability, which is great, that's what I'm implementing a bunch of stuff right now. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I gave Luana just the other day, just in case this did happen. I said, give me like Corpus Christi, Victoria, newspapers and stuff, but I can't compete with San Antonio. No way. I can't compete with anybody around San Antonio area. So let's try to compete down here, so that's what we're doing. Even though y'all giving me 6 deputies, which, my word, I cannot even believe this. Thank God every day for them. But it's gonna be hard to fill them 6 spots immediately. I mean, bottom line, because as I told you a while ago, y'all gave me that big old raise here for the sheriff's department, and we got us up to where everybody else is.
Back out of it?
No, I'm not doing that, but that's what I'm saying, you know, but this is, you say this $500,000, it might not come into play, I can get 6 deputies by the next budget year. You know, I mean, this is why I gotta pick and choose, I got a stack of deputies, applicants this tall, but I wouldn't want them to protect you, much less me. So that's where I'm at.
Do the best you can.
They gonna get a ticket book,
They got
Yeah,
to-
let's get some tickets.
bring us some proceeds, and then we can afford all these.
Well, like I said, we got few proceeds coming
But
in.
people are begging for patrol, Sheriff.
I
They're
know.
begging.
They like to see them patrolmen way out there in the middle of nowhere.
Like I said, in Kenny and Karnes City, we see cops all the time. I don't see anything else. Go ahead, sir.
This rigging out, is that dash cams and the lights?
Boy, that's just the rigging at S&P. That's when they put everything in there, you know, the consoles, the lights, the sirens, all that stuff in there. Because, I mean, in the years past, it has been like $2,000 some odd dollars. So I could do it, have my budget, you know, have my seized money, but that kind of went away. And simply, they're going to have about $5,000.
So these 6 units aren't gonna have dash cams?
Oh, yeah, that's what they're in there, right there.
Okay.
They got cameras, got dash cams, they got everything. I mean, all the bells and whistles. I mean, like I
Pressure's on you to
said,
find them now.
and that's what the push is. I gotta go out here and try to recruit, you know, steal deputies from somebody else.
We understand. Mr. Busman, this is an emergency item, this is considered an emergency item.
I don't know, yes, I say it is, but I have had some people disagree with that. However, we had no, I mean, all of us lived here, I've been here, I've been practicing law here for 40 years, and none of the attorneys here had any idea, or anybody else had any idea, it was going to expand this rapidly. And so, it's, I don't know how, we knew last budget year, we knew we had the sale here, we knew it was going to be a good thing. Nobody could have anticipated exactly what has happened. I mean, we have a lot of people moving in here, they're building all kinds of yards and so forth, and we need to cover this. And I think it's an emergency, I really do. I don't know how you could term it anything else.
I agree.
I agree with you, Bob.
The way the local government code reads, James, it's a emergency expenditure as an amendment to the original budget only in the case of grave public necessity to meet an unusual and unforeseen condition.
This is.
There's no way we could foresee the enormity of it
Correct.
ahead of
I'm
time.
just clarifying what it said.
You mean we're agreeing?
Again.
Carl, you made the motion, right? I seconded it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. There was no opposition.
Thank y'all, I appreciate it
Now the
very
pressure's
much.
on you, go find them.
And, yep, I gotta go recruit somebody.
Don't make us eat our words.
Hey, sir. James
With a monthly report.
Yeah.
For, that way, if the taxpayers come to us, there are gonna come to us,
Oh,
we
yeah.
give them 6 tops. So that way, we at least got something to show them. All right, thank you, sir.
James.
File daily reports, just send them over.
That's yours.
Hey. Here, don't leave me. I need you to pick up that thing. I got a stack of stuff I want to get rid of. That's what I always do. Yeah, and then you replace it. Yes, with the original. I do that only because I want you to have all the blue signatures. Why I want to color the other.
Not enough people use the blue.
Yeah. You got a pointer. And then, yeah.
First thing that we need to address on the bills,
I'm here.
We're here with you, Luana.
Got my attention.
on page 1, the 5th entry to MJ Boyle General Contractors for $72,631.67. I received an email late Friday afternoon after these were processed from Lewis Fisher, and it says, Carl and Luana, after the demolition event that damaged the historic wall of the courthouse, I asked MJ Boyle to reconsider the amount that they were requesting for the demolition category. They sent me a revised application today. The completion of the demolition was reduced from 80% down to 60% complete. This reduced the amount request to $59,569.36. I received that revised payment application in the mail yesterday. So we can do one of two things. We can delete this $72,000 and adjust the dollar amount to the new request, or we can remove the $72,000 and wait until February 14th to pay the new request.
No, let's adjust it. What do y'all think? I'd rather adjust it. What, Luana, what was that number? I'm gonna write it on here, on this original you gave me.
$59,569.36.
$59,569.36. Adjusted amount? Okay, now I'm just gonna put a mark by it.
That's the only thing that stuck out?
Yes, sir. In this cycle, we'll also paying our budgetary contributions to the Soil and Water Conservation District, the Historical Commission, and the Historical Society.
Do we pay that all at once, Luana, or we pay that quarterly?
We pay those 3 all at once.
All at once?
The Economic Development Corporation is a quarterly payment. It's also in this cycle for the quarter. On page 3, about halfway down under capital outlay, you'll see that we are paying for the remainder of the furnishings in the new annex for adult probation, DPS. I believe there's one other one, but I don't know what it is.
And buys dues are paid too, is that what you're saying, retainer dues? Oh, no, you're saying adult probation, but your furniture.
I noticed on your, for waste recycle there, it says for dumpsters, $7,800 for dumpsters. Is that normal? We have more trash than usual?
Jesse ordered some more.
So we gonna,
Jesse had to order some more.
That's coming from
EMS
our
unit?
back.
we just voted that in there. It looks like they all repaired pretty good. John said it was
I already have to make that, I can't pick it up yesterday.
easy to keep up with doing it in their home. I don't want it to break down when they got me in.
They don't have any in there.
Yeah, me too, but you know.
what is all the Christmas party DPS stuff?
Christmas party, DPS, oh, you're looking at the Walmart bill?
Uh-huh.
That is with some of the monies that we get from our Coke machine proceeds,
Mhm.
where they bought the paper plates, paper cups, et cetera, for the Christmas party. And also on that same bill, there were supplies bought for the DPS office, different office supplies, trash cans, things like that.
Does DPS get the Coke machine money or whatever?
No, the county does. That's just the description of what was included in that bill.
Wait till they get my bill, I'm going to A&M next week. That's what that says. Hilton up there.
Huh?
Hilton, look at Hilton. That's it.
I know, but they actually have one that's wow.
Hilton was the one that-
Go to pages 8, 9, and 10. You'll be looking at the road and bridge expenditures for this pay cycle. Lots of materials and lots of freight to haul those materials.
Yep.
Joanna, how do we, I know we need to have some kind of planning meeting with Jeff to work on that, bond money. What do we need to do there? Just have an open planning meeting?
Well, you can either have an open planning meeting or have a planning meeting with you and Jeff and myself, so it's not a quorum, and then take it to an open meeting.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we look at me, you, and Jeff meeting and coming up with something and bringing it to the you guys? We need to get something started.
Before we can make a plan, we need the road survey.
You got that, Jeff? Do you have those road surveys?
We're, what I'm doing, I'm waiting on the 4 maps to be, drawn for me. And what I'm gonna do with those maps, we're gonna put the school bus routes on one. We're gonna put the, and we're gonna take them step by step where, the most places we need to work on roads.
And you'll have that when?